Hello friends, welcome to your own channel on artificial intelligence and machine learning. We are learning SQL programming as part of this playlist. And SQL programming is a very essential thing a data scientist should know. So far, we have covered DDL statements, data types, DML, select query, basic select query with from, where, group by, having, order by clauses. In this part of the session, we are going to learn subqueries and common table expressions. Let us try to understand the concept of subqueries. Subqueries, as you can understand by the name, query inside a query is a subquery. How we use subquery? There are three ways we can use subqueries. The first is we use the subquery in the select part of the query. Select, you can have column 1, column 2, and then probably you write a query, select max column n from TBL name. This will become a column. You can give an alias also as max colon from, and then again you can have a table name here, table name. This need not be the same table as you have here, so I'll give other name, table name 2, and you can have other part coming here. So here you see the query has been used as part of the select, and it is used as a column. Now second usage is, which is the most commonly used approach, select column 1, column 2 from table where you have some column equal to, or probably instead of equal to you may have in clause, and then you use a query select. Now here if you are using a summarization function like max, average, if you are using any summarization function, then you can use equal to. Instead of using a summarization function, if you use a column, say the query is where, and assume there is some product, then you would have to say where product in, select product from, say, product master, where product type is equal to saving. So here this query will run on the product master table and find all the products which are of type saving, and then from this table you are selecting all those records where the product code, and here also I can say product code, is matching with the set of product codes written by this query. Note, because this query is likely to return more than one value, you have to use in. So this is the second application. The third application is you write a query. So let me write a query here first. Select column 1, column 2, column 3. You want to use some more column summarization function. Okay, go ahead. From table name, and you want to put conditions, go ahead, put the conditions where clause group by. You enclose this entire query in a bracket and you give it alias to this. Say table A. I give some any alias. I just named it table A. Now you write the query, select column 1. You can select only those things which are here. Okay. Or you can write some summarization function, sum column 2, like this also, from. Now this part becomes your table. Okay. And then you write your where group by. This is the third commonly used approach of using a subquery. This is called the inner query. As you can see, this query is inside this query. So this is called the outer query. This and this way of writing subqueries are the more commonly found approaches. However, you can also use a query in the column part of the select query as shown here. So at a high level, you have understood the concept of subqueries. Another approach of writing this subquery is common table expression. So what we do in common table expression, this part of the query, we will just move out and I'll show it on the next slide. We will write it like this: with, okay, you use the with clause, then you say basically alias to this. So the alias we had given was tbla, so we can give the same alias as, and then the query which we had, whatever is the query, select call1, call2 from table name. You can put where whatever you want to put. Now this is your query. This query you have given an alias tbla. Now you can write select call1, call2, anything that you want to write from tbla. You can put the conditions. So this is another approach of writing the queries. Here we have written the query first and given it an alias. This approach is called common table expression. Then you may ask, what is the benefit of having common table expression over subquery? The benefit is, why we require common table expression? What you can do is with table A as, you write a query, then you say table B as, table C as. Now you have got three temporary tables: table A, table B, table C. And now you want to write a query, select table A dot column, comma, table B dot column, table C dot column, You want to write a query from these three. You can use as if they are some permanent tables. You can do join between these tables and get the desired output. This is not possible using a subquery. So here you are creating multiple temporary tables, and then in the final query you are using all the temporary outputs and doing the necessary join to get the desired result. So this is where your common table expression differs from subquery. So long as you have only one common table expression, then you write a subquery or you use common table expression. Both approaches will run efficiently in the database. Common table expression scores over subquery only when you have multiple common table expression to be created. Having covered the conceptual aspect of subqueries and common table expression, let us get into SQL codes and see how we can use. We will use our courses example as we have been using all through the playlist. So here, this is the basic query. Let's quickly see the data. Select star from courses. Now, having seen select star from courses, we have certain fields. I want to write a query where I'm taking course ID, duration, fees. For each of the course, I'm seeing the duration and fees, and I would like to compare the fee of the course with the max fee in all the courses which I offer. From all the courses which I offer, what is the max fees? So I want to see each course fee with respect to the max fee that we have in the courses table. So this would be your query. So here you can see this max amount will be same across all the rows. So this is our first example where we have used a subquery in a select query as a column. Let's move forward and see the second example. Now here I would like to see all the courses where the fees is greater than the average fees. So this becomes my query in the where condition, and I'm using the output of this query as a filter. So let's run this query, and we got the desired result. Okay, let's see a different variation. I want to delete from courses table all those courses where fees is greater than the max fees. It is self understood that no record will get deleted. Reason why no record will be deleted is we are first taking the max fees, and the condition that we have fees greater than the max fees. There will be no course where the fees is greater than the max fees. If I run this query, I get an error. The error is not because of the condition. The error is because in MySQL, this query syntax is not correct. If you use database like PostgreSQL, Oracle, Microsoft SQL, this query would have worked. However, in MySQL, it does not. We need to make the necessary change. What we have to do is we have to make this as an inner query. This becomes my inner query and give it a temporary name. From this, you have to again select the data, and that you have to apply in the condition. Obviously, no record will get deleted. because the way we have put the condition, records are not going to get deleted. However, the objective here is to explain you the difference in these two queries. This is a standard ANSI query. With the ANSI standard, this query works. However, this query does not work in MySQL. That's why we have to tweak and write the code which is now selected. I execute it, Shift Control Enter, the shortcut. 0 rows affected, no rows have been deleted, which we know upfront. So you have already understood query inside query, because this is an example of query inside query. First you have written this query. The output of this query is then selected by the outer query, which is then used in the delete where clause. If I have to use in select record, select query. So here we are using select star from courses where fees greater than equal to. Now here I have put the condition equal to. If I remove this equal to, obviously 0 rows will be selected. If I put equal to, I will come to know how many records are there which satisfies the criteria. So this is our query which I am executing. Now at least one record will come. Okay, we have two records. I said at least one. There are two courses which has the highest maximum fees, and that is 20K. Just observe the query, compare the result. Okay, I hope you have been able to understand this query. Okay, let us now see the usage of query inside query with some summarization functions. So here what we are doing is select star from courses where fees is greater than the average fees. So if I just run this much piece of the code, I will have 4 records. These records, there are 4 records which I got where the fees is greater than the average fees. And then I am applying the summarization function. This example may not be the most apt example for subquery, because you may say that, hey, this, why do I need to first write a query and then I need to write a outer query? This example is just for demonstration of a subquery. I will explain a practical application. So this gave me output 1, 4 and 9. If we have a good knowledge of SQL, we could have got the same output 1, 4, 9 without writing query, inner query and outer query. We could have got this output very simply. I'll now change this query and I would directly put these conditions. So here our query is something like this. Select a live count from round from courses where fees is greater than this fees amount. Now a alias is not there, so I remove this. Flag live count, alias is not there, so I remove this. Semicolon. This query gives me the same output 1, 4 and 9. Kindly compare the two queries. To make this query appear in one line, let me just move a couple of lines up. Okay, so you can see this query. Here I just used the subquery approach, which is not the right approach. So you have to also understand when to use subqueries and when not to use the subqueries. Better query is what is shown in line number 379 to 382. Okay, let us now see common table expression codes. Here we have a common table expression. As you can see, with CTE, I don't know why it is giving me a star mark, but this query will run. With CTE, we have written a query. So this query will get a name CTE1. Now I write second query where I make use of this CTE1. Select flag type count1 from CTE1. We run this query. We get the output 1, 4 and 9. I would like you to compare this query with the subquery. So let me have both these syntaxes coming in one line. So this is a common table expression approach. This is query inside query approach. Formatting, indentation, all of these are equally important aspect to be considered while writing the queries. Okay, both the queries are in front of you. This is a subquery approach of writing the syntax. What you can note is here we wrote the query inside the from clause and gave it an alias. The same query I pick, copy paste here and I give it an alias here. Nothing difference, no difference. The queries, the approach is same. As I mentioned, common table expression is useful when you have multiple queries and then you have to combine them together. In that case, common table expression is useful. Let me give you another example where common table expression can be again useful. So here I have a count of student by gender. So this query gives me a count of student by gender. Now I also want total number of students. So what I can do is this query I can write union and then I say select and here I'll say O for overall. I'll give it a name O as overall, comma count star SCNT from students. Okay, so this query will execute. Sorry, yeah, this query will get executed. It will give the count by gender. It will then do union with this query and you will get the output. So you got the desired output. However, if your data is not a small data, assume your data has 1 million records. In that case, what will happen? This query will get executed on 1 million records. It will do the summarization. This query will again execute on 1 million records and do the summarization, and it will do the union. However, if you can write this query and get this summary where you have only 2 records, and then you do summarization of this summary output, the number of records to be summarized is only 2. You don't have to again do aggregation on 1 million records. This is another application where common table expressions can be used. So the way you can use the common table expression, you write the query. This query will do the summary and we give it a alias CTE TBL, and on this CTE TBL then you say select star union grand total. This query will give you the desired result. I hope you are able to understand that by using a common table expression, you are not running the summarization again on 1 million records. This is another application where common table expression usage is better off than subquery, because you will not be able to solve this problem using a subquery approach. So there are two things which you have now learned: common table expressions and subquery. You also know the merits and demerits of when to use a common table expression and when to use a subquery. With this, we conclude this part of our session. In our next session, we will see the concept of joins, which will be followed by usage of various functions, text manipulation functions, date management functions, numeric functions, and then window functions. Window functions are basically analytical functions. With this, I conclude this part of the session. Thank you. If you have been enjoying the session, then I request you to like, share, subscribe to the channel. See you in our upcoming session. Till then, bye bye.